So I wanted to give a little bit of some information about the kitchen. So I'm having all of the decision making research slash decision paralysis, overwhelming information in dreaming up this kitchen. And I think DIY is great until you have to design an entire room or redo an entire room. Kitchens are not cheap. You know, so many thoughts that are kind of creating this scenario. But I wanted to kind of give you guys some understanding of the kitchen as it currently is, where my ideas are coming from, and then, you know, I'm going to have a lot of clips of things in here to show you the room, the space, and then my design thoughts, my process, where am I planning. So just bear with me on this one, guys, because it's a new idea for me to actually bring you along when I'm doing this information or when I'm going through these projects. And yeah, so might be a little chaotic, but that's kind of where my mind is. It's all organized chaos is definitely how my brain works. But I'm excited to kind of walk through this process with you guys. Okay guys, this is reality. So just understand that the mess you see here is because two people actually live in this space. But as you guys can see, let me just back up for a second here. When you walk into this room, first and foremost, it's a square room. It's like a 12 by 13-ish room. So we have this walking path. I'm walking from my living room. And so as we walk this way, we have our mud room. And if you guys watched my tour recently, you'll see that you kind of got this glimpse. This goes out to a back common space. And then when I whip around here, you can see I've got this kind of larger window setup. I have a door there and a door right there. So door to the right leads to the living room. Door to the left originally led through to a second room, whether you call it a bedroom, office, what have you. And I have currently put up a temporary wall last 2 years ago, maybe, and I created a pantry space. So it's not the best and it needs some love, but here I have some ideas. So let me back us up one more time, get us a full visual of the kitchen here. So now you can see, when we see my design plans, what we're working with, right? So we can see here, I've got a door right there, makes it hard to make it work. So that's why I have an island, windows right there, door right there, okay? We on the same page, hopefully.
So let me show you guys how I have been designing the kitchen. I am using a program from house.com. It's under the House Pro section. I'm trying a free trial so that I could access the 3D floor plans. So when you click in here, it just lets you create a new plan, and I really like it. I found it pretty user-friendly, and there's some different modes in it, which I like. And for the floor plan, you first obviously go with your ability to create the walls to the dimensions you need them to be. You add in any windows or doors. So in this case, I've just done the niche space, not even showing the walkway here, but just the niche of it's almost 13 feet. It's like 12 by 8 and then about 9 or so feet long ways. And then just playing with all kinds of configurations here. I love this dollhouse effect because once I have chosen what I want, I can come in here and actually see it, and I can play around with the different styles of doors, if I want drawers, what color I want this stuff to be. So I won't say that the colorations here are exactly what I want. I do want maybe a neutral or beigey tones. I haven't decided if I want a dark countertop or not, but I love this because I can actually see what I think fits here. and it gives me a really good idea of how am I going to plan this cabinet build. So I spend probably way too much time on this site, but I love it. I have done so many different configurations: island, no island, L shape, galley kitchen. This one you can see I've actually switched over the stove and to the wall that the fridge is currently on, and then the fridge is kind of in where the doorway currently is, where I would take the doorway out and put the fridge on that adjacent wall. And I like that idea because it kind of gives me the ability to have kind of a built-in idea here. And I would reclaim that place I've made the pantry into maybe a closet for the other room, and then I would have pantry space within these cabinets. And I think if I do it this way, where I have kind of this bank of cabinets here with some uppers on the other side, I'll have at least what I have now in the kitchen and more as far as space for storage. And then maybe I will add an island via the table instead of a traditional island, like a table where we can sit or kind of congregate if we need that extra space. This last feature is kind of a walkthrough feature. I don't use it as much. It is still kind of fun to do because it's kind of like you're actually in the kitchen in a perspective there. But I find the dollhouse works a lot better for me. But it's definitely a fun program. If you like to try your hand at stuff, like I said, free trial, and then just go to town on the type of thing you want to work on. I love it.
Okay, another thing about this room, it's in a house that is over 120 years old. So that means a lot of things are, as this video kind of feels, a little off center, a little not straight. So one of the first things I'm going to show you is, you can see here the bottom of the door jamb. Do you see how it kind of goes down? So my first thing I'm figuring, which I already knew, I have either sagging floors or sloping floors. The difference is a sag is going to be where in the middle it goes down a little, whereas a slope, a whole side is lower. So don't know which one that is yet. And I'll show you why I think it's a sag. I hope it's a sag. I feel like that's going to be easier to work with. Let me show you.
Okay, so I've pulled this fridge away from where it usually is because I'm trying to figure things out. So the first thing is, you can see where the paneling is. They did a great job. They decided not to go all the way through. So that is the original plaster wall right there. This is the paneling on top of it. And what I'm gonna tell you is, look at the monster shim into that countertop. That's why I think it's a sag, not a slope. It could be both, to be honest, but I think the floor has sagged in the middle, and so they're compensating by creating this monster shim under the countertops. All right, so going through some of the design features with you guys, I have just shown you the first problem of the place, which is the floors. Not sure if they're sagging or sloping, gonna figure that out. And when I get to that point, I will try to remember to tell you what it is I'm doing to fix that. I won't go through that in this video. It's just extra information you don't need to know about right now. But let's talk through some of the design ideas or things I'm working around. So I wish that there was either only one window here, which is the second one I want, or none, but this is what I have. And I'm appreciative that there's some windows in here because it would be a very dark kitchen if there were no windows. So this little space is only about a foot, not very big. And it's actually a bump out right there because it's the pipes and things that go up to the upstairs kitchen. So my first thought is I'm going to take a 2x and build a wall. So it goes all the way across and it bumps out the wall 3.5, 4 inches. Because if I do my U-shaped kitchen, it won't matter 3 inches. Like there's enough space
to accommodate for that. And what I like about this idea, two things: gets rid of the bump out. I don't have to worry about the exterior wall plumber level because my bump out will be my plumb wall. And I can then case these windows so they're a little deeper, which means plant shelf or whatever I want it to be, because I usually do have some sort of plants across the top of my oven, and I want my oven against one of the other walls because I want to be able to create a vent hood for it. So right now it smokes up the entire kitchen when we cook because there's no good outlet. I have to put an exhaust type fan in one of the windows to pull the air out. It's kind of a whole thing. So that is floor, big challenge, creating a new plumb wall that will encase or give me some depth into these windows is number 2/ whatever. I'm not prioritizing, but the floor obviously will be the first thing that has to be fixed in order for any of this to make sense. And then the ceiling. So let me show you guys. I have a beautiful drop ceiling. So I didn't show you guys when I did my living room, but I had to correct some ceiling things there. I have some feelings this is hiding some interesting ceiling things, but I'm gonna have to take the drop ceiling down because I want to reclaim maybe 6 inches above that, but still make a nicer, taller looking ceiling, and then fix some lighting, electrical things going on, maybe move the pot lights around a little bit, and create an interesting ceiling. I have some thoughts of how I want it to be. I don't want it to be flat. I don't want it to be beadboard. I will show you guys in my inspiration what do I want my ceiling to look like. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really cool. So ceiling, bump out, floor, my big top 3 like big things I've got to think and worry about within the kitchen itself. And then the other stuff just comes down to cabinet layout. Do I want drawers versus cabinet pulls? For the base cabinets, I think drawers just make more sense because I'd rather pull a full extension drawer out, be able to reach everything, than have to get down, look, reach back, pull things out. Everyone knows what it's like to reach into a base cabinet. So if I have base cabinets that are drawers, I think it'll be more user friendly. So I'm really excited about that. And I just got an amazing deal on some plywood. So I normally go to my local big box store. The store I went to is a local chain called Martin's, and it's a surplus salvage store, and they had posted that they got some 3/4 inch birch plywood 4x8 sheets. I was like, let me just price those out, and they're like $60, $70, $80. It's all expensive. Martin's is selling them right now for $40, $39.99. So I took my little Scion that I was so sure fits 4x8 or 4x straight into my car to go buy some. The first trip I did, I got 5 sheets, 5, that's 4, 5 sheets, and excited, so excited. What a freaking deal. $40 per sheet is an amazing deal right now for plywood. And I looked crazy because my Scion, it doesn't slide right in because at the opening it kind of goes up and then out. So we had to kind of tilt it in, which kind of worked in my favor a little bit because it was more like holding it in a truck bed versus worrying about if it's going to slide out the back. I'm sure the guys got a good laugh after loading up 5 pieces of plywood into that. And then today I went back and I got 3 more sheets. I don't know if I need that much, but you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If it's a $40 plywood sheet, you buy the $40 plywood. I just think that just made more sense. So we are stocked up on that for a little bit, and I'm hoping that that will help me build nearly all of my base cabinets at the very least. I don't know how much uppers I'm gonna have yet. I'm still deciding, but my base ones, obviously foundation, need that to work. So I'm excited to have gotten such a good deal on that because cabinets are not cheap, guys. I priced unfinished cabinets from the Home Depot in a design where I needed a few, 1, 2, like 5 or 6 cabinets probably, maybe more. And it was like $1,000+ for unfinished, basic, not cute cabinets. Over $1,000. So then I started pricing plywood so I could see how much money I would save. And when I was pricing the plywood, I was at like over $600 for plywood at the current prices. And I was like, well, it's not $1,000, not so bad, but still a lot of money. And at this point, I have bought all my plywood for like less than $300 or $400. So I'm now at more of a third of the price of cabinets. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I wanted to stain them. They're birch. And I have decided to go with frameless cabinets. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the frame, when we talk about cabinets more, but frameless versus inset or face framed cabinets. So it would be frameless, full overlay. That's kind of a European style cabinet. I like that it seems potentially the simplest to build and uses the least amount of material, and overall is going to be better. I might just paint the cabinets. I thought about staining them. We'll see what I make the doors out of. I'm not quite sure yet. So paint or stain to be determined, but yeah. And then we'll figure out the countertops, because this house is ultimately meant to be a rental. And no, I don't want to be cheap on a rental. Like, I'm not a slumlord. I don't want that to be, I want it to be decent, good quality, but I don't need the best. I don't need granite in here. I don't need, you know, marble or anything like that. Even if I'm living here, I don't need that. So my thought is I could probably either get a solid surface, or a more affordable option is to create a vinyl countertop. And you can actually get sheets of vinyl and make your own countertop. And that might be the best, easiest way to customize and save a little bit of money at the same time. So this is definitely going to be a kitchen renovation that is on a budget, very much on a budget, DIY, do it yourself, and hopefully the end result, it's going to look high end. That is my ultimate goal. So we're going to plan. I'm going to hopefully have shown you guys some of my ideas at this point, and there's no timeline for this. We are kind of waiting for the weather to get better, to get a dumpster so that we can do a little bit of the demo at the same time. And so it'll probably be at least a couple of weeks before we ever get this started. So we've got time. You guys have plenty of time to join in, subscribe to the channel, so that if you like home improvement stuff, that will be part of the series going on here. As you guys know, I am a random channel, so I post a little bit of everything. I think that's how our lives are. We're not one personality. I love the channels who are one personality, by the way, but I love the channels who show their personality. So my channel is my personality, which is a little bit of everything. You've got gardening, you've got DIY, you have drone footage. I have a whole other channel for photography. So I'm just everywhere, and I hope that you guys who appreciate the channel are cool with that, because that's what we're doing. So you guys enjoy, subscribe if you want to see more of this, with this monstrous kitchen turning it into something a little bit better than lipstick on a pig. That's what we're hoping for. That's the goal, is quality, quality, quality. As best you can do, as best you can afford, but quality nonetheless. Thank you guys. We'll see you later.